back to the garage. So today we are going to be fixing my handlebar issue on the chopper. So essentially what's happening is, well, I can push the handlebars even though the risers are on it. So I'm going to show you that in a second, but here we got some billet aluminum 1.5 inch drag specialties risers. These are the not cheap ones, they're like 75 bucks or whatever, versus the $50 eBay ones I got. And then we have the Gorilla Grabber top clamp. So I got this from Hill Country Customs. I'll link it down below. Essentially it's a normal top clamp, but it has these 3 screws in the middle which are supposed to clamp down to give better strength. Hence the Gorilla. Sorry, loud tracking. Essentially they're supposed to grip down to provide better strength to prevent movement for taller handlebars. So yeah, I heard about them before when I was working on street glide and stuff, but I finally got them. And then I got some brand new screws. These are 5/16 by 18. So that's what I think said. This is on the website for these. So I'll show you what's happening so you can kind of see why I have to replace them. Full disclosure though, I stripped one of the holes out so they're not like super clamped down, but it was doing the same thing regardless. And I stripped it because I kept trying to tighten it to get it to sit, but because the top clamp that's on there and the risers are not good quality billet aluminum, they didn't really grip into the knurling of the handlebars, so that's kind of why that happened. So I'll show you on the bike. So when you sit on the bike, I'd have an issue when I pull back, they would just come undone. So what I'm hoping this will do will prevent that from happening. So what I'm going to do, it's not too hard, it's just kind of an annoying process with the Springer front end. Essentially I'm going to take the top clamp off, that'll free the handlebars, and then I have to take this little plate off, which you'll see in the close-up version. You'll see it in the time lapse when I go through, but there's an adapter for the holes to fit normal standard Harley-Davidson like risers and stuff like these. So I'll have to take that off. And when I do that, I have to re-Loctite it, put it back on. So not super involved, but yeah, let's just get into it and hopefully this fixes my issue. Alright, so for this, it is a 5/16 Allen. So because these risers are so short here, I had to take this and an Allen key and cut it so that I can essentially get in here like this. They're kind of annoying, but if you do have this motor iron set up with the adapter and you get shorter risers like this, that will be something you'll have to kind of deal with. I put these lock washers in here to essentially fill the gap. So that is something to be aware of. If you do get this adapter plate, it might not sit flush, so you might have to put some washers in there. Plus it helps snug it down and prevent it from moving. So now that we got this here, what we're gonna have to do is take these riser bolts out and then put the riser bolts back, then put the new risers on there, fit it on here so that I know they're even, and then kind of tighten them down. It's kind of an involved process, so I'm gonna actually put them on like this here, and then I'm gonna tighten them down evenly, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until I get close to the torque spec. And then I'm gonna have to kind of like essentially pick this up, put the top clamp on, put a top clamp on, and then torque them down. And then I can take this off again and then put these back on here. So if you do have the short risers, make sure you put these back in here or you don't take them out, because you won't be able to get them back in with this. And then since I'm not going to use these risers again, I'm just going to vice clamp them down and take it off. Those are free. Put these back in just like this, like I was saying before. Open these. So here's the new one, and here is the old one. So yeah, drag specialties here, eBay. Not much difference, but like it's a little bit thicker, a little meatier. Now what I'm gonna do is put them on the handlebars, kind of get it clamped down, and then kind of like go through that process. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's kind of weird, and I hate that I have to do it this way. It's just like with the motor iron Springer front end with the adapter. It's like no better way to do it, I guess. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like I was saying, of course there's easier ways to do this. I'm just lazy and I don't want to take all this stuff off again because I am very lazy. So it's just how I choose to do it with a drop cell. Now that I have this on, I'm just going to tighten this up and then put the plate on so I have the right angle. And then once I have the right angle, then I'm going to essentially like, torque them down and stuff. So we'll get to that. This is the least best way to do this, for sure. So I'm not tightening these all the way down, just so that they're snug. And now that this is snug on here, it's lined up properly, so now I can undo this and then torque these down in here. So yeah, I gotta look at the torque spec real quick. Alright, so it says 30 to 40 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna do 35 foot-pounds on these here into the risers. which will set these in there, and then I can take them off, put this clamp back on, and put everything back on like normal. So. Alright, now I got these off. Put some Loctite back on these, and then I'm gonna put them back in here until they're just tight, because I don't have a torque spec, nor can I get a torque wrench in here, as you saw earlier. So I'm just gonna Loctite it and then tighten it back down. There we go, not moving. Alright, so now do all this. I'm gonna move all the wires out of the way, and then place the top clamp on. Get all the screws started, and then once all the screws are started, it's lined up exactly even where I want it to be, then I'll pull each screw out, put Loctite on, and then torque it down. Alright, just like that, they're on. Got the correct hand placement, positions, everything like that I want. So yeah, now I'm gonna pull each individual screw out and Loctite it and torque it down to spec. So let me look up the torque spec for that. Alright, so it's 12 foot-pounds, 12 to 15, so it's 144 inch-pounds to tighten these down here. So I'm gonna get my inch-pound out, so that's a 144. Alright, just like that, the handlebars are back on. Oh wow, yeah. So they're only moving here at the little adapter point here, so I'm gonna probably tighten these up just a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty good, not gonna lie. Oh, I know why they're moving. I did not put the washers back in, so I'm gonna put the washers back in here, and then I'll come back to y'all. All right, so I put the lock washer back in here that I said was a good idea to put in there in the first place, and I forgot it, of course. But yeah, I got everything torqued down. I have everything good to go. So when I try to move it, it just moves the bike. I'm sure I could probably, if I wrenched on it, get it to come down, but I doubt it. It would move that much if it did at all. The big thing is now I can pull back on it and like move it around. So yeah. Gorilla grabber from Hill Country Customs instantly worked way better than the cheap one, top riser that I had bought. I put it on here and it just essentially grabbed down on it immediately. As you may have saw earlier when I pulled the bars off to put these down in, put the adapter and the risers on, it stayed on and it gripped into the knurling on the handlebar. So it's amazing, worth the money. It was like 80 bucks or 85 bucks, something like that. I did rip the wire out of here, so I'm gonna have to fix that and plug it back in, but other than that, it's a pretty simple job. It's just really annoying. Once again, I cannot state enough, just buy the risers meant for this motor iron springer that are wider, and then just buy the wider handlebars. It will save you so much more time, it's much easier, and you don't have to cut an Allen wrench to fit in there and all this other stuff. It's super annoying. So yeah, I'm still waiting on paint for the oil tank and the gas tanks, taking a minute. But I got the wiring all kind of hidden, tucked away. ready to go for when you know, the gas tank gets here, minus this part up here, which is taped off, all the connectors. I just need to get the gas tank on there, see where it goes, and then actually get it out of the way. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Really simple, kind of done. Yeah, it was super annoying. I stripped it out and it wasn't locking in, but now I can, you know, move it. It feels like one solid piece. I was kind of blown away by this top riser clamp. Go check out Hill Country Customs videos on handlebars. Good guide. It's what I use for my electric glide and then my street glide. I did all the handlebar stuff. It's kind of how I learned how to do all this, is by watching their videos. They'll talk more about this product and everything like that. Just a simple shout out because it works really well. But yeah, so if you like what you see here, you want to see more, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.